Mission Maintain is a project that is part of the larger citywide effort titled Operation F4, Fight for a Fitter Fort, a health-based initiative to help Fort Wayne become a happier, healthier community. The project is sponsored by the City of Fort Wayne and is aimed at completing the mission of helping Fort Wayne lose 500,000 pounds by 2016. The idea behind Mission Maintain is to not worry about losing or gaining weight during this holiday season, but rather to simply maintain. This videotape is designed to do just that, help you to maintain. What I'm going to present to you in this video is a strategy known as cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short. CBT is a strategy that is aimed at really changing the way one thinks. It's a powerful tool that's been proven to be effective in over 500 clinical studies and counting. CBT is a process that normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get the hang of. But this video is a condensed version that is designed to put into play immediately. In order to maintain, we have to start with a good game plan. And that begins with visualization. Visualization is a technique that is used by virtually every successful professional in every discipline I have ever encountered, from professional sports to brain surgery and everything in between. Visualization is a way of seeing things before they happen, being prepared and being ready to negotiate any likely scenario. For example, I played baseball up through my sophomore year in college, and I was pretty good at it. In order to be good at baseball, or any endeavor for that matter, one has to have a good mental game. When I was out there at shortstop, ready for the next pitch to the batter, I was busy visualizing every possible scenario and mentally rehearsing what I was going to do. If a grounder was hit to me, where was I going to throw the ball? If it went to the outfield, where was I going to position myself to get the cutoff throw? I literally had to think through every possible scenario and execute it in my head before the pitch was delivered. That's what made me good at the game. In order to negotiate the many celebrations we will face this holiday season, we have to do the exact same thing. Visualize the scenarios and be ready. We have to have a good mental game when it comes to negotiating celebrations. Just like baseball, we have to be ready for anything we might encounter. Of course, we can't anticipate exactly what is going to be offered at every holiday get-together, but come on. We have a pretty good idea of what kinds of foods we are likely to encounter. So take a moment first to write down this visualization, complete with how you want to negotiate the party from start to finish. Now here's an example of what might be included in your written visualization. I will load up 2/3 of my plate with the best food that I can find at the party. If there's a veggie tray, I'll load up with that. If not, I'll load up with the healthiest things that I can find. I will reserve the last third of my plate for the fun stuff. I will eat as slowly as I possibly can, putting down the fork between bites, sipping on water between bites, having conversation between bites. I want to savor each bite and each sip as if it is fine wine. And when I'm done with my one plate full, I'm done for the evening. Now you can make this visualization as detailed as you would like, but try to keep it succinct and to the point. The next step in the process is called metacognition, which literally means thinking about our thinking. This step is really the heart and soul of CBT. We can have the best, most detailed plan in the world, but what happens when we actually get to the party? We typically do what we've always done. We overeat. And why do we do this? Because we have a detailed set of thoughts that we use to talk ourselves out of our plan. That's where metacognition comes into play. Thinking ahead about the thoughts that we usually use to blow right past our best laid plans. At the point of execution of that plan, what thoughts do our brains launch then? Let's say, for example, you loaded up your plate just like you planned, you savored each bite just like you planned, and now you're sitting there staring at the table loaded with goodies. What's your brain going to be telling you then? How likely am I to make it okay to abandon my plan? And how am I going to do that? If you're like many people, you might be hearing thoughts like, hey, it's the holidays. I can begin again in the new year. It's the time of year to celebrate, and that means not caring about what or how I eat or drink. Live a little bit. Really, who cares anyway? Sound familiar? These may not be exactly what you usually think, but if you're struggling with overeating, you do have a set of thoughts like these that you use to give yourself permission to abandon your intention. The key is to identify your own personal set, as complete of a set as you can possibly put together. Next, we have to go to work reconstructing a new set of thoughts to neutralize our own default permission-giving thoughts. This step is called cognitive restructuring. Not just any old thoughts will do. The reconstructed thoughts need to be customized to fit our existing permission-giving thoughts precisely. The goal is to develop thoughts that are exactly 180 degrees out of phase, or the opposite of the thoughts that are pre-existing. I call these thoughts antonym thoughts. Here's an example of some antonym thoughts that could be used to neutralize the sample set of permission-giving thoughts we just listed. Tomorrow never comes. I need to pay attention today, right now. I will eat sensibly today. Celebration is to be had by coming together, enjoying good friends, conversation, not by overeating. Overeating is actually a very bad way to celebrate. It feels awful. Eating sensibly, practicing self-discipline, that's a great way to celebrate. I can eat good foods, practice sensible portion sizes, and enjoy the feeling of being disciplined all at the same time. That's how I want to celebrate. I care, and I care a lot. Eating sensibly is the best gift I can give myself this holiday season. It simply doesn't work to try and ignore our default permission-giving thoughts. The brain does not work that way. Now, it's beyond the scope of this short tape to get into the brain science that explains this, but if you're interested, there are plenty of other videos on this website that go into much greater detail about this. The only way to quiet the permission-giving thoughts is to launch this new set of thoughts, forcefully and repeatedly, to get the brain to pay more attention to this preferred set of reconstructed thoughts. So now that we have our preferred set of thoughts created, we have to practice these new thoughts and practice them often. There are some powerful ways to practice these new ways of thinking. First and foremost, put them in your phone. Most folks these days have cell phones. If you have a smartphone, open up a note, text them in. If you don't have a smartphone, it's okay too. Simply text them to yourself and you will have access to them in your inbox. Type in both your plan, the visualization, and the list of restructured thoughts. You will want to review them often, and the best way to do that is to have them handy on your phone. Not only does this make them easily accessible, but also incognito. Nobody's going to wonder what you're doing when you keep looking at your phone during the party. Each time you review these notes constitutes a practice stroke. And we all know practice makes perfect. So let's go back to that baseball analogy quickly. I didn't get good at baseball simply by learning how to field a baseball and practicing it a few times. I took thousands of grounders hit at me from every angle over and over again. I would stay after practice and have the coach hit them to me as hard as he could and from every different angle so I could get good at playing the game. Whether we're learning to field a ground ball or learning to properly negotiate a holiday party, it takes lots of practice strokes. But we're still not done. The next step of the practice piece I call cognitive infusion, literally saturating our brains with our visualizations and our restructured thoughts. Typing them into your phone and reading them repeatedly is good practice, but we can go way beyond that. Massive regions in the brain are devoted to processing information that comes in through our eyes and our ears. In order to capitalize on this processing power, we want to make an audio and or a videotape of our visualizations and our restructured thoughts. Again, the phone is a nifty tool to make that happen. Smartphones come equipped with audio and videotaping capabilities, and we want to use them to leverage the awesome power of these two sensory input channels, our eyes and our ears. Simply print out the visualizations and reconstructions and use the printout as a script to make an audio and a videotape. If you have the capability, just go straight to video. That way you have both on one tape. Audio processing, turning the spoken language into meaning, takes up 37% of the brain's processing power. Visual processing, deciphering a video clip, kicks that up to about 70%. That's why TV advertisers pay so much for airtime. It is very powerful. Most of us have all of that power in the palm of our hands in the form of a cell phone. When you've converted your visualizations and restructured script into a short 1 to 2 minute video, you've placed a powerful practice stroke right in the palm of your hand that can go with you virtually anywhere. That's literally a minute or minute and a half of turbocharged information entering the system at mega strength, which is why I call it cognitive infusion. The name I give to this technique is CAVT, Cognitive Audio Visual Technique. Here is an example of a cognitive infusion. Here is my plan to maintain over the holidays. I will load up one plate with the healthiest food that I can find at the party. If there's a veggie tray, I'll load up on that. If not, I will load up with the healthiest things that I can find on 2/3 of my plate. I'll reserve the last third of my plate for the fun stuff. I will eat as slowly as I possibly can, putting the fork down between bites, sipping on water between bites, having conversations between bites. I want to savor each bite and each sip as if it is fine wine. And when I'm done with that plate, I'm done for the evening. When I hear my brain attempting to make a pitch for eating more, I will be thinking, tomorrow never comes. I need to pay attention today, right now. I will eat sensibly today. Celebration is something that is had by coming together, enjoying good friends, good conversation, not by overeating. Overeating is actually a really bad way to celebrate. Feels awful. Eating sensibly, practicing some self-discipline, now that's a great way to celebrate. I can eat good foods, practice sensible portion sizes, enjoy the feeling of being self-disciplined all at the same time, and that's how I want to celebrate this season. I care a lot. Eating sensibly is the best gift I can give myself this holiday season. That selfie is a minute and a half long. That's a minute and a half of powerful information to stream into the system. Now the only thing we have left to do is to read, listen, and watch our practice script as many times as possible to embed it into the brain. I have clients who have watched their tapes thousands of times, literally, and with quite awesome results. You can practice your script practically anywhere. I recommend at least 10 times a day. That's a mere 10 to 15 minutes. You're busy this time of year, right? Yeah, all the more reason to have a concentrated minute of turbocharged practice. Anyone can find an extra 10 minutes. You can listen on the way to the party, read the script as many times as you would like during the party. Heck, I've got clients who sneak off into the bathroom with their earbuds to listen to and or watch the tapes. Imagine finishing your plate of food, hearing your brain trying to launch some of those permission-giving thoughts, and simply opening your phone or hitting play on your video to drown out the unwanted thoughts. If you don't think that's powerful, I have 2 words for you. Try it. The goal is to launch a preemptive strike against the derailing thoughts that we know are going to come, and then pound them again and again when we hear them firing up in the brain. The moment you hear them, start infusing the script until the brain goes quiet. It's as simple as that. So make this holiday season different. Take the time to visualize, restructure, type, tape, and practice your way to a healthy mindset. It's the best gift you could possibly give yourself for Christmas.